let us know in the chat room if we are live. I'm hoping so. This is John Nolan. We're American Hammers TV this evening, and we have Ben from the Mile High Hammers. Ben, how you doing?
Good, doing good. Thanks for having me again. I appreciate it. I guess I'm doing all right because I keep getting asked to come back.
I think that's my mantra at the minute as well. Yeah. I must be doing something right, but
or everybody else is doing something very wrong.
Yeah, that actually could be it. But yeah, so we're waiting on one of our guests, Scoot. I think we crossed a couple of wires, but he should be on shortly. So when he comes on, we'll let him into the room. But we'll just have a little chat here, Ben, between you and I before Scoot comes in. And I was telling Ben off the show, actually, I was out his way in Denver about 2 weeks ago. So his first match of the season, obviously Man City. Didn't really want to watch that around anybody. But if I were to have, where would I have gone in Denver, Ben? What are the good spots?
Well, the next time you're in town, definitely recommend you come check out the Celtic on Market. It's an Irish pub. Our little crew, Mile High Hammers, we've got a decent group that usually rolls up about 5 to 10 deep on a decent day, and on later kickoffs, it's it can get as much as 15 of us in there. So definitely Celtic on Market. Don't go to the British Bulldog. It's a Chelsea pub.
Oh God,
garbage. Don't go there.
Yeah.
So yeah, everybody knows the Bulldog, but don't go.
I was staying in a Baker area.
Baker. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there's a fish and chip shop around the corner there that was pretty nice. There's a West Ham shirt on the ceiling in there.
Kidding.
Yeah, they have a bunch of different kits. A lot of it from like the mid-90s. So I'm assuming it's somebody who knows what they're talking about there.
GB fish and chips? Or?
I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's
There's a couple of those around here.
Listen, I'd give it a go. I'm aside from being a West Ham fan, I am on a fish and chip exploration mission in this country to find something that's like home. That's pretty close. DC Irons, you've got a good place in Amons down in Alexandria. I used to live around that way. It's really good. Philly is sadly lacking a fish and chip shop, but we do have a great British pub called the Dandelion, which does do some good traditional fare. So if you're ever out our way, make sure you dip in there.
I actually lived in South Jersey, right outside Philly. I grew up there, and so I used to go into Philly a lot. We hit up the Irish Times down in right off of South Street, I think.
Little known fact, and actually, Philadelphia has an East End pie and mash shop of all things.
What?
So Vegas last year, Philly next year, maybe we'll do a pie and mash meetup.
Like that.
There's a place called Stargazy. Unfortunately, it's run by a Tottenham supporter, but the pie and mash is about as close as you're going to get this side of the Atlantic. So
worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. Plenty of green liquor. It was a good place. But what do you think about the game on the weekend, Ben?
Well, I was telling you off stream. I didn't watch it live, but I did watch a replay, so I knew the result going in to watch the replay yesterday. Which was kind of good because I was able to kind of pause it, move things around, and kind of be able to break it down a little bit.
Did you think it was going to be more comfortable then because you saw the result before?
Yeah, I totally did. But watching it, I mean, I think Watford had at least 2 chances in the first half. And then they had that one, I think was early in the second half. Will Hughes just totally whiffed.
Ben, let me just interrupt you. I think we have our guest here. Let me bring him in.
Oh, yeah.
One second. Hello, is this Scoot?
Yeah, how's it going?
Good, how are you, Scoot?
Excellent.
Should we call you Scoot or are we calling you Shane? I see you got Shane up there.
That's just my Instagram password thing.
Gotcha. Well, Scoot, good to meet you. I'm John. We've got Ben here. He's with the Mile High Hammers.
How you doing? Good to meet you, mate.
We got quite a few in the chat room. Looks like we got Penny is in the chat room. Neil from Down Under is in the chat room. I shouldn't be surprised by that one, Neil.
He's a warrior. He's always.
He is. Neil, do you sleep? I'm wondering. So, Scoot. Tell us a little bit about yourself. You're in Hamilton, is that right? In Ontario?
We started the Hamilton Hammers about 3 years ago. I moved here from Winnipeg and met another Hammer guy. We thought we'd be the only ones. Next thing you know, there's like 25 of us. So it's like, wow.
That's a good crowd.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. So we kind of liaison a little bit with the Toronto Hammers. on some of the early games or the Sunday games where our pub's not really open. So we'll head up there and do some stuff with them. So it's kind of exciting.
Is that close for you?
It's about an hour away. Yeah, so
About an hour.
it's reasonable.
Yeah, that's pretty close by American standards, North American standards. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, right.
Yeah.
So what got you into West Ham? How long have you been a supporter?
My whole life. My family's from Canning Town. My gramps is so we kind of sort of inherited it.
Gotcha. So those early days, I'm not making a judgment on your age, but probably back in the days when it was very difficult to find a game.
Oh yeah, you're getting the game on the paper the next day, or they used to have a match of the day here in Canada, but it was like a week later on, so you already did the score. And West Ham generally weren't the team that were on those matches anyways. It was always Manchester United or some crap like that.
Yep.
That's interesting. So you had the actual the BBC match of the day, was it?
Yeah, well, there's sort of like a Canadian version of it. I think Leonard Doozy was he's one of the big Canadian soccer guys would put it on. So that was that. Our other highlight was when Craig Forrest was playing. Because like great, we have a Canadian on the team. That's pretty exciting stuff. But we weren't that good when he played though.
I can't say we've been that good many times, to be honest.
But
Yeah, I don't think it was him.
8-0. That's just really not really a fun game to read about or watch, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fair enough.
So it was kind of your. Well, let me ask you this actually: who was your grandfather's favorite player, and then who was your favorite player growing up?
Well, yeah, for my gramps, sure, Bobby Moore. I mean, you just can't debate that. That's solid. I mean, Jeff Hurst. For me, obviously, I did a chance to watch West Ham. I had a big thing for Bobby Zamora. He was certainly that character. Obviously, you can't argue. Probably everyone's favorite fans like Mark Noble because he's just so Mr. West Ham. But Ben Yoon was fun to watch too. So probably. But growing up, yeah, I really like Bobby Zamora.
Yeah, Bobby was he was a good player. What do you think, Ben? He popped up at times where we needed him, Bobby. He's always there.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of the. I don't want to be like crass, but he's like just when you think he's dead, he would pop right back up. There's got to be a better way to say that, but that's the sentiment I'm trying to express.
Yeah. I think he was a West Ham fan as well. I think.
Oh, okay. So he had a little bit of history there,
yeah. Yeah, he was a solid player, and of course, that was around about that era where he was on the team when we had Harewood as well, didn't we? In that team between the two of them. Yeah, he was a great player, Harewood. Just what we needed in those years, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I always say, I mean, it was bad when we were in the championship those few times, but those are great games to watch.
Yeah,
it's a brawl down there. It's a bare knuckle brawl. So every match counts.
Yeah, and we won a lot of them too. It kind of was more.
Yeah, we certainly win more there than we do in the Prem.
That's true. Unfortunately, that's true.
It's a weird feeling when you win that many, at least for us anyway. And especially during that Payet season, I didn't know what to make of it. I'm going into games confident. It doesn't feel right.
Yeah, it was bizarre. That's for sure.
I think the last time like that was when we had Pardew as a manager. We finished 8th. That was the year we almost won the world. We almost won the FA Cup.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Rio Coca as captain and Konchesky and all those lads. Yeah, that was interesting. We had just come straight up as well, I think, right? That was or was it the year after that? I think we had just come straight up.
Yeah,
they went down. They yo-yoed down and came right back up, right?
Yeah, twice.
Yeah, that was that season where we had goes Anton. Anton scored that beautiful goal from outside the box. I always remember that one. It was like first or second game into the season. I want to say it was Blackburn beaten 2-1, 3-1. And he had that little swivel, just knocked it right over the keeper from outside the box. It was beautiful.
Yeah. We had, 3? For a while there, we always had a Ferdinand in the team for a while there, right?
Yeah.
Brother Rio. Then they had, there was their cousin. I can't remember.
Les.
Yeah.
Lesford, yeah. Yeah, I think we must have had him towards the tail end of his career because he was a brute of a man, though. He's big.
Hmm.
Did you ever get over there for a game, Shane?
Yeah, I've been to two. At Old Upton Park. I saw the new stadium. I haven't seen any game in the new stadium yet.
What games did you see, and when was that?
Oh, geez, that was 90s. Think. I think it was Newcastle, and the other one was my first one, and that was Ipswich. I think it was a cup game.
Walk us through that first match. You arrived in London. You know, any pre-match, any rituals? Where'd you go? What stood out for you?
Oh, my family now is Essex, and unfortunately, my cousins are Essex girls. You know what that means? You know what that means? But stayed there at a few pints. Then we went into the game. They had some tickets in the Chicken Run area, so that was decent. And I don't know, like 16, 17. So really don't remember much now. I'm almost 50. So, but I just remember the magic of the stadium. Like the songs and just the energy Upton Park brought, right?
Yeah.
And that was sort of just the ceiling that this is certainly my club for sure. But I still got to see a new game in the new stadium. That's still something I really want to do.
You think you'll get over though? That's on the list.
Yeah, I was there 2 years ago. I did the stadium tour, and with my family, and we were still there. But our first away game was to Chelsea that year, and I had a 5-year-old. I'm like, that's probably not the best game to take a 5-year-old to.
Smart.
Yeah. So we'll go again probably next year or year after that for sure. But
Cool.
I know I saw people planning with the American Hammers, or some groups are thinking about doing like a massive away game or something like that. Someone's trying to. That'd be hard to organize, but that'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think if the will's there, we'll find a way for sure. I think this community is growing, and the more that Tim and those guys are really appreciative for them to putting stuff like this together. I only discovered it recently, and I contacted Tim like, yeah, I'd love to get involved because I love to spout shit about West Ham, and my wife ain't listening to it, so I may as well talk to the internet about it.
Yeah.
Did you guys go to the Vegas thing?
I didn't make it, but I know there was a couple people actually. I think from Denver that went. I know at least Scott went. We might have had one other person who went too. It looked like it was a pretty decent turnout. When I hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
X was there. What's his name was there? The player, Jonathan Spector, right?
Yeah.
And did X end up going?
Yeah, I believe he was out there, and so was Baz and some of those other, just the names, that everybody knows from Twitter and that. Not, I didn't make it either. I think I definitely have a good look at it next year, though, for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, seeing some of the stories, and I see Wally's in the chat room. Hello, Wally. Some of his stories on the show last night. Just seems like it was a really good time, and it's special when you're over here and you can get that many people who support the same team together. I think it'd be good to do it again and keep growing it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, what we were finding was really weird because the couple guys of us that started, we were at West Ham for a long time, but we're getting all these younger kids, and they're getting into it through West Ham, obviously from the movies, but a lot of kids getting into the team from music.
I could see that. A lot of punk rock kids.
Yeah, and Iron Maiden, obviously.
Yeah.
So just because they love the band so much that they like the team. But I mean, whatever makes that's all right by me.
Yeah, for sure. So how many younger members do you have in your group then? Are you seeing is it changing every week or?
No, we get a solid group, but I'd say probably about half the group is probably under 30 or 30. So that's pretty decent. I mean, that's some,
Nice.
and some young people, and then you're trying to get them to bring their friends just to hang out and just enjoy the camaraderie, and and it's kind of half the fun is like, knowing whether you're going to win or not. I mean, if you're going to win all the time, that's not as fun, right? And of course, that
That's
we
true.
watch more losses than we do victories, but it's still the fun part is that there's that chance we could.
Yeah, absolutely. And remind us again, where is it that you watch the games, just in case anybody wants to get down there?
In Hamilton, there's a pub here called the Ye Old Squire, and it's run by an old Scot guy. The best part is we get a proper English breakfast in the morning. So,
There you
literally,
go.
we get a good breakfast.
Nice.
And he's got these pints on tap, so at 9 o'clock he's able to.
You got to get the breakfast in before you start drinking.
Exactly, yeah, for sure, right. And
Yeah.
Guinness is almost like a coffee. I mean, you can have that with your breakfast.
It's true.
It's good. I mean, we had a good group and on it. It's just nice to see it. 10 years ago, I mean, you just used to being the person for West Ham. Everyone's always, Liverpool or Man United or whatever. And you're like, the West. They look at you weird. You're in Home Depot or something, like buying some. You get your jersey on. You're like, what the heck is that? No, it's not Aston Villa. Like,
Yeah. Get that one all the time. Villa? No.
but you're seeing more. But this is good. It's been especially the last 5 years. I've seen definitely West Ham's more in the forefront. People know who we are and that kind of thing. That's it's good. I think that's the debate we've always been having. Old stadium, new stadium. Some people say, "Oh, the heart's gone and West Ham's dead." It's not, or it's not my West Ham. But I mean, we need to compete in the league, and I mean, having 6,000 people almost at every match, that's impressive.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So it's a good move then in your eyes.
Well, it's that, or we're gonna be relegated. Back to just be a yo-yo club. So I think the stadium does provide some financial stability. We owners who know what to do with the money. I'm not a big fan of the Davids. I don't think any of us really are.
The Dildo Brothers.
Right. But
Can I say that on stream?
You just did.
Did I? No.
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah. But the good thing is, though, I mean, them turning they basically tell Carlos and Pellegrini, you're in charge now. That's which probably been the smartest thing they ever did. I mean, I just saw a link today, like the 45 strikers that
Yeah.
signed. They're like,
Yeah.
I don't really. We signed this guy. I don't even know this guy's name, right? You're like, just they're utter crap.
So I've got a theory on that, and I think we have Real Madrid to thank for all of this, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because we were ready to sign Rafa Benitez, and Real Madrid came in. This is before Bilic. Real Madrid came in at the 11th hour and said, "We want you as manager," and he turned around and said, "I'm going to Real Madrid." So I think the Davids at that point were, they're in scramble mode. So who do you get? They went out and got Slav, another person that had originally interviewed for the job as a temporary kind of transition, or somebody who that maybe they thought would end up being all right long term, but it's a bit of a chance compared to a proven record like Rafa. So
Absolutely.
I think we would have seen the kind of money that we're seeing them put in. Not that it was great this year, but last year, I think he would have been their trusted manager. But I'm very happy the way it's worked out, and it's not Rafa, it's Pellegrini, because I'm pretty pro Pellegrini. I think people that have listened to me on here know that by now. But I think we all have Real Madrid to thank for that one.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, you always got to give your manager a chance. I mean, even Zola, which was hard for me to do. I'm just like, oh, he's Chelsea. He can't make this. There's no way. But I think Pellegrini's proven himself over and over again, and the signings have been shrewd. Though I think some people, at least in our group, talking about, I don't know if Fornals big enough to play in the Premier League.
If Lanzini is,
We're just getting muscled off that ball so easy. So hopefully he's gonna figure that out really quick, or else I don't know. Maybe he needs to be a flop.
Yeah, I mean, you saw he came out. Was it after the last game? He said, I'm going to need time to get used to the league, and
Physicality. Yep.
yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. He's not Allaire. He's not 6 foot something, and 200 pounds or whatever, 180 pounds, whatever Allaire is. But you're right. It's going to be a big adjustment for sure. He's going to have to be strong. I don't know what kind of regime Lanzini's on, but they have kind of a similar build, don't they? I mean, for me, they're kind of like for like, the two of them.
Similar, yeah, definitely pretty similar player. I agree.
Yeah. Well, Lanzini had a little struggle there at the beginning too. Size. He got to figure out. So I mean, I'm hoping. I'm on the side. I think he's a good signing. He will come around, but it was quite obvious that the game those 2 games he played, like he was just getting muscle up that ball just way too easy.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't. He didn't set the world on fire when the first few appearances there.
Yeah. But I'm really happy that the Davids. I mean, again, gave the transfers to Pellegrino and Joselos. I think they're being shrewd. And, I still think that we definitely didn't strengthen the back enough, and we're seeing that.
Yeah, I mean, having to play Ogbonna, I'm not a fan of him. Just every time he's in there, no Balbuena again. I'm not really sure I follow that, but
what is it? Is it because he's injured or why?
He was listed in the team both weeks. Like he was on the bench, so I don't know. I don't get it.
Because last year, I mean, I call him Balbuena. I mean, a wall. No one was getting through him. I mean, him and Diop.
He was great. He was the general. He was good.
But I don't see why we're breaking that up.
Yeah, I agree.
Because
tough.
Yeah, and I think Masuaku got a lot of stick for that goal on Saturday, but I actually think that was more on Ogbonna than it was Masuaku, because if you look at the ball, it comes across Watford's midfield, and suddenly he's got to go to the ball, which he doesn't do, and that's a problem as well. But I don't think Ogbonna does a good job covering him behind him for the who was that Gray that scored the goal. I mean, nobody tracked him at all going through our defense there. It was an easy ball and an easy finish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was kind of similar goal was kind of called off from VAR. It's kind of the same mistake kind of repeating itself.
Yeah. I think some of that's the high line that we play as well. I mean, when it works great, but it is scary to watch as a supporter, I think.
Yeah.
Especially when, the best thing was you saw when Noble was on the field the last game. He was basically yelling at Anderson, guys, get back. They tend to stay up front there too long, and this is not Italy, guys. You got to come back and play.
Yeah. What do you make of Noble's return, Shane?
I was happy to see him. I think he brought that spine much better than Wilshere. At least in my opinion, I think he closed down, made those. There's every game there's going to be that Mark Noble crunch tackle, which is almost a yellow card, or it's going to be a yellow card. I think the team needs that. They need that sort of that one linchpin sort of in the midfield. And I mean, I don't know if that's going to be a Declan Rice position in the future because he's sort of kind of going that way. But I mean, Wilshere didn't seem to show that.
Yeah. What do you think, Ben? We missed him, didn't we? I think those first 2 games.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think his value is grossly under. I think he's undervalued. Honestly, I don't think he gets nearly enough. He gets credit amongst the fan base, rightfully so. But I think in the Premier League, he doesn't quite get the cred that I think he deserves. I mean, say what you will about the penalty and everything, that's what he does. But just the leadership, the intensity, the whole team just looks more tight and together. I don't know a better way to put it. And I think his value for Rice, like he's like a safety blanket for Rice. So Rice can maybe play a little more aggressively or kind of be a little more freewheeling. I don't know if that's the right term necessarily, but he can kind of do a little bit more of his thing and kind of having that, knowing that Noble's there. And, obviously we see the succession plan, right? Rice hopefully will step into Noble's shoes. Hopefully not for many years. I think his value, like I said, is immeasurable for the squad for sure.
Yeah, the best midfielder never played for England should have played for England.
Yeah,
There's
it's
2 years there. Get the best pass completion rating, most tackle. Should have been in England for at least
yeah.
one.
I agree. I think he's he was very hard done by in the generation that he's come through with. When you have your Lampards and Gerrards, I think that kind of stopped him getting in, several years back. And then, but if you look, he was England, was it under 18s or under 21 captain? They won a bunch of stuff with him as captain. And
Yeah.
it's kind of sad that you didn't have that transition over to the senior team where they at least had him in the squad and in and around it. Because Mark Noble, for me, he plays to the level of the players around him. He's a very intelligent player. So if he's surrounding Payet, he's going to look like he belongs. And unfortunately, he hasn't played with that many quality players around him because he's at West End.
Yep.
Yeah.
He would
And
have
too,
been fine in the England setup.
yeah. But he definitely is that general that we needed on the field, right? Like again, someone's got to say and hold guys accountable for blowing it. Like I mean, our all our goals. You look at it, half the time is if our midfield would just come back half and play a little bit of defense.
Yep.
We're attacking. Yeah, you got to play both sides of the ball. I mean, Snodgrass does it sometimes. I think he's getting a little long in the tooth, but he'll come back and play. Defense. I mean, that was the thing that gave us a hard time with Anderson last year. He just didn't want to come back and play defense.
Yep. He was slow. He just seemed so uninterested almost, which is kind of scary. But yeah, I mean, it's if you can just get everybody to buy in, and I think with Noble out there, people buy in a little bit more.
Yeah,
I think.
Well, he holds him accountable on the field.
Yeah.
Where were you? You saw him get a little bit with Yarmolenko last game.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, he said, "Oh, Yarmolenko's playing defense now." Well, that's good.
You got the captain barking in your ear, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, where was Anderson when that goal went in? I mean, that potentially should have been his man.
True.
Yeah.
You talk about the John Gray goal?
Yeah, because the ball came across, it bypassed our 2 central midfielders. Right. Who was filling in there?
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
But I think he gave him a kick up the arse at halftime. I'm sure Pellegrini did as well. I think they definitely, for as many chances as Watford had, I think they actually defended a little bit better second half. What did you think of Aller, Scoot?
I thought obviously he was I was really hoping that sort of cartwheel thing he did would have been a great goal.
Yeah.
That first try, but yeah, I mean that bicycle kick. I mean that was pretty. I mean it's sad that Antonio didn't get that goal because that header went off the crossbar, right?
Yeah.
Antonio is a beast, and I just love his work rate. And we're kind of debating that too. Is like, is Antonio a starter, or is he that guy that comes on in 60 minutes with all that pace and beast mode and just runs over defenses? That seems to work quite well, actually.
Yeah,
it certainly does. The last 2 games are anything to go by, right, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing with Antonio is he's such a bruising, intimidating guy. So it's almost like you put him in, let him run the defense down a little bit, then have Haller, basically be the poacher, which is what he is. Is that the strategy, or is the strategy bring Antonio on at the 60th minute and have him take on guys that are already a little ragged, and it's like it's it's tough, but it's a good problem to have, right? I mean, Antonio, everybody loves Antonio right now. Sometimes he's a head case, but when he's on, that dude is on.
Yeah, and he just shouldn't shoot.
Yeah, well, when he shoots for the freaking moon.
Right? Yeah.
If you're in the top row, you better wear a helmet if you're behind the net. Well, he's barreling down at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He caused complete chaos. It was amazing to watch. It was just absolute chaos. I don't know what happened, but Watford they didn't know what to do. I don't think we knew what we were doing either, but
no,
it was just a different game at that point, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally.
And Antonio's your typical bull in a China shop, right? That's just everything's getting trashed. But I was really scared because the first half, though, I mean, Watford were the better team. And that was part just driving me crazy. I'm like, oh, same old West Ham. All on paper, we should be just destroying these guys, and
Yep.
we're not cohesive. We're not playing like a team. There was no unity there. It was just utter garbage. I was just getting, you get that point, like, I'm just getting mad watching this. And then the second half, different team.
Yeah. What'd you guys think of Yarmolenko? What do you think? How do you think he did?
I think he's not match fit yet.
Yeah.
I mean, last year before he got injured, I thought he was quite good.
I would agree. What do you think, John?
Yeah, and a couple of nice goals last year. He's rusty, he hasn't played in a long time, and I think it'll take a while to get up to speed. I think we'll probably see him tomorrow for that reason. I would think, he just needs match fitness. But what do you guys think about tomorrow? Who's going to come in? Who's going to go out?
Well, the other new striker we signed should play for sure, right?
Ajeti?
I can't pronounce his name.
Guy from Ajeti or Ajeti?
Yeah, Ajeti, something like that.
Yeah, he should play. Obviously, we'll see what this kid can do. I want to see a lot of our kids play. It's sad that Diagano went to on loan, but this has been his game for sure. But he's getting some first team football. And I think that some of the other guys should play a game just for learn more about defense, playing some solid defense stuff. I mean, I think it'd be good for Fornals to play.
Yep.
Instead of Lanzini.
You think we see Roberto in goal instead of?
Yeah.
I'm saying that I won't be able to sleep tonight.
It's Newport County. It's like, come on, they won't lose a Wimbledon. How can they lose a Newport County? Oh wait.
Oh, it is West Ham we're talking about.
That's true.
Sometimes we find a way to lose.
Yeah, snatching defeat from the jaws of victory.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. We could see Roberto. What do you think about maybe Ben Johnson? And somebody's mentioned Connor Coventry as well.
I think Johnson could get some time. I think that'd be good. I think there's that balance, right? It's like you don't want to throw everybody in there and potentially embarrass yourself, but at the same time, you gotta make sure you protect your guys. I mean, I don't know. That these early cup games are always the worst. I don't know. I don't know how it's like philosophically, right? What is the idea, right? Is it like, do we try to go in on a cup run? And if we do, what does that mean? And then how does that impact, obviously, the Premier League campaign? Because that's really the big one. But let's be real. I don't think anybody's picking West Ham to make the top 4, right? So what's the balancing act?
Or right back, you bring in Zamaleta, or you let Fredericks play, or
yeah, exactly.
Because I think our back four, I think Fredericks probably want to get him and Maslaki would be the most heart attacks. Fredericks, I don't know if he's Premier League quality. I mean, I know it's been a few people have been talking about that now.
Yeah.
Like he's in the play, but his cross quality, don't know. So it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen on that position.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
It's a big question, and if maybe it goes to my next question to you, Scoot, which is, if you could have any player from way back when during your time supporting West Ham in the team today, who do you think that would be?
Cole.
Colin or Joe?
Joe Cole.
You gotta ask.
Sorry. No, Joe Cole. It was sad when he left. It was very as a fan. I really appreciated when he wanted to come back just to retire as a Hammer. I think that was class. But yeah, I think Joe Cole is something you would need in midfield. I mean, and a guy who can score goals.
Yeah, he's a class player. I still think he was completely wasted at Chelsea.
Yep, and more so at Liverpool.
Yeah, I even forgot you even went there. So
Yeah, and on his Instagram, he doesn't even say he played for Liverpool.
Nice.
I was like, now I like you even a little bit more. But
Nice.
Yeah, he was a hell of a talent. Were there any standout moments from him that you remember?
oh, there's so many. I mean, just as is his pace and his like I just really liked his tenacity to the game. Like every ball was 50-50. He was a bit of a pit bull.
Yeah, he's a great player. We could certainly use a few more from his time back in the team today. I was lamenting the other day about just having Dixie as a left back. If we could go back in time and pull him into the team today, and that kind of steel, determination, and leadership, and he had everything as well. We could really use somebody like that at the minute. Our fullbacks they're a big question mark, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I think I said in our defense, they're the weak. That's our weakest link. I mean, when they go forward, at least Masuaku, when he goes forward, he's got crazy ball skills, but there's that one touch too many, and he coughs it up, and then he won't track back, and then they score. I mean, that's just the most frustrating thing about Masuaku.
He's asleep at the wheel sometimes. It's just like, dude, what are you doing? Sometimes he's friggin' brilliant, but then other times it's like he's just completely unplugged. And it's that inconsistency that I think gets me.
But even his brilliance, though, it's that one touch, pass it off. You beat three guys. The big guy around you just pass it off, but he won't, and you cough it up, and it's all for nothing.
Yeah, no, he refuses to play the simple ball. I don't understand that at all.
Yeah.
You could have three options that can receive the ball, and he'll try and take on two defenders instead.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then it just creates a nightmare for us because he's going to cough it up, and they're on a quick break, and obviously he's not in position to defend. So that's always a bit. But I think too. I mean, for like now this team, what I'm really happy to see is that at least Pellegrini is bringing up the youth. I mean, the last previous managers refused to do that. So it's kind of nice to see that the kids got a chance. They hope we play hard. We can make it, into the team.
Yeah, I think that's a nice change, especially compared to Allardyce, who basically hung 11 of them out to dry in an FA Cup game. I think that one game was against City, wasn't it? I think, but yeah, there wasn't any production. We didn't have anybody coming through. I think it was like Noble and Tompkins. There's our Tompkins reference for the day.
Yeah,
shout out to Tim.
Yeah, there you are, Tim. And it was just it was dry in between. I think is it Rice? Rice is probably the one since those two that's actually made it.
Yeah.
There may have been a few others in there. I guess maybe Hines and some of those guys, but they didn't stick around.
No, and we had that was a couple of years ago. We had that one striker who was killing it in the reserves, or the under 23s. He was scoring a goal a game. He couldn't even break into like the squad when we were like dry, and it was Slatwood Billich just wouldn't play him.
Yeah. So, Scoot, you were a fan of Joe Cole, and so you would have seen that whole era of Lampard and all those kids come through. What do you make of that time at West Ham? And God, what could have been?
Tony Adams is amazing. Yeah. I mean, that was just a great time. I mean, the hardest part is being the selling club, right? But to see all that talent and kids that were from the neighborhood, a lot of them were, from that part of town. It's sort of that last tradition. It's one thing that my grandfather was impressioned on me. He was saying he was younger, like, going for jellied eels or whatever, and you'd see the West Ham players in your community. They lived in your community. They're from, the team represented you and in your neighborhood. And that was sort of that generation we had was sort of the last bit of our own homegrown kids growing up to play on the team. I think Mark Noble is probably the last person, if he retires West Ham, to start his career and finishes his career at our club. I don't think we're going to see that again. It's a time gone by, right?
It's a bygone era now in the Premier League. I mean, people are bought up and transferred. I mean, it's a global. It's always been a global game, but yeah, I mean, to your point, these smaller clubs now, all the big talent, they're coming up through the system, and then they're bouncing off to Chelsea or bouncing off to Man City or wherever. And it's hard to maintain the talent now, for sure.
It is, to our benefit as well. Our academy is more international these days as well. Where
True.
if there's talent anywhere, they're going to find it.
There.
So, I mean, when I lived down in the DC area. There's Prince William County just outside DC. West Ham had come in and partnered with one of the local travel teams down there, and they were sending coaches over and stuff like that.
Wow.
They're doing it all up and down the country. There was a fellow I worked with over here. His nephew had trials at West Ham, and I'm like, has he even heard of West Ham? He's like, no, of course he has. But that's, it's interesting. This next generation of kids over here, they do know the Premier League. You look at some of the NBC marketing and stuff, and who carries it up by you, Scoot? I imagine it's not NBC, but
no, it's weird. A Russian firm called it's spelled DAZN. I don't know if it's the Zone or DAZN or whatever, but they bought they have the whole league now. So before we had different channels, had different packages of games, but they have the whole league now. So it's kind of weird because it's all computer based now. It's not like a TV network.
Yeah,
it's driving pubs crazy now because you could go to the pub, they can show 5 different games, and no, they can't because they need 5 different computers. Because it's all
right.
It's not.
I need smart TVs or something to stream it with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they got also the NFL, and they had La Liga, but La Liga pulled out because they got bought up by a different marketing company now. I think it's one from something like that. They pulled out that agreement. But yeah, it was just weird that for one second, one internet base had all the football games.
So do you get every game now? You can stream any match.
I can stream any match. They do, which is nice. They also do the championship, so you can
Oh, that's great.
They do the FA Cup. They do the League Cup.
Oh,
so
that's fantastic.
I'll be able to stream the League Cup game real easy. So that part's nice. I mean, and it's on demand. So if you miss the game, you can just go back and just stream it again an hour later or whatever. The game's set up for a week.
Nice.
That's brilliant because, I mean, even over here, it was NBC, I thought, did a really nice job taking it over from Fox Soccer Channel, right, Ben? That was kind of what it was. For Fox Soccer Channel used to play, you'd get maybe 2 or 3 games on a weekend.
Off here and there, not very well organized. For
and
sure.
you'd have to deal with Alexi Lalas, which is just...
Oh, God, that guy. Fucking what a clown.
Who do you have over there, Scoot? Are there any good commentators? Are they locals, or do they bring in people from over the pond?
Over the pond, I got one guy, and he's a Villa fan, so I just can't stand him. But it's cool.
Nice.
One of the guys is Craig Ford. It was always nice because, he was West Ham, right? So he gets the club, and but now with DAZN, there's no commentary. It's just the stream of the game.
Oh God, really?
Interesting.
Yeah. So
did you make your own up? You and the Hammer City Hammers that just make up their own commentary?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, they have whoever's ever doing the game for the BBC or whatever, or Sky, who's ever doing the game in the UK. You'll have that person.
Gotcha.
Doing the thing, but there's no between halftime. It's just some ads. There's no discussion, no game.
Right.
We get Tony Gale a lot, don't we, Ben?
Oh man, Tony Gale.
Tony Gale, and he's always talking about how Lanzini's the best player outside the top 6.
He doesn't get talked about enough. Yeah, Tony, he gets talked a lot about by you.
Tony Gale was a one-man Lanzini fan club, and God bless him for it, but it's hilarious.
It is pretty funny.
He's West Ham.
He is a good West Ham fella, Tony Gale. You got to give it to him. But he probably mentions Lanzini more than Tim mentions Tompkins.
Oh man, Tompkins, another drink. Drink, everybody. Yeah.
Well, who knows? Maybe we can stream one of these during a game sometime, Scoot, and you can give us some commentary from
There you go.
from Canada.
Oh, for sure. Thanks for having me on. This is great. Just to talk about West Ham and you realize that it's all over. Like Mile High. I mean, I've been to Denver lots of times. That's a great town.
Yeah, it's a good city.
And so it's nice to meet. When you get to travel for work wherever, it's like, you look at that map now. Oh, there's a Hammers group in Dallas, and there's one here, and it's like find some guys and connect with them and actually watch the game with some fans and meet some new people. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, we're everywhere.
Yeah, sitting in a hotel room by yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we are everywhere. It's I think anywhere I've ever gone, if you wear a West Ham shirt, you'll bump into somebody and throw you crossed Hammer's sign or.
Yeah, but it's nice to know when you see a guy wearing a West Ham shirt, like, he's West Ham. Like you see someone with a Chelsea shirt, oh, I just got it, or my mom gave it for Christmas or whatever. I mean, like,
you got to try for the West Ham. Yeah, like this guy knows.
Yeah,
this person knows.
Yeah,
he was 35 and his mom still got him the shirt.
Right, but like you go to the carnival, you buy Chelsea, Arsenal, like Real Madrid, whatever. You don't see a West Ham there.
No, not until we win the league.
Right.
But hey, they said Leicester could never win the league, so why not
true.
us?
That's true.
That's the only thing I really, really want to see the West Ham to win the league once, because I mean that means that's something that no one in my family have ever seen, because we've never won the league, and to have that opportunity to win the league. I mean, I think the best we've ever been was third, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Boys of '86.
Yeah.
That's pretty typical West Ham, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just good, not quite good enough to be not quite good enough.
Yeah.
But so I would love to see us win the league. I think that'd be just once.
I'd take an FA Cup, really, at this point.
I'd take anything. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, give me the Carabao Cup. Give me the Super Cup. I don't even know if the Super Cup, what the hell that even is.
Listen, we can't even win the Betway Cup, so if we can't win that,
one thing at a time here. Yeah.
Yeah. We've got to build.
Well, the only good thing is Tottenham won the same amount of trophies as we did.
Yeah,
That is true.
The biggest.
Sure.
That is true. They we were saying how much on the show the other day, asking who you hated the most, and mine's Spurs. I've seen a couple of things on Twitter the last few days, people saying if it ain't Millwall, you're not a proper West Ham supporter. But for my dad, it's Millwall because he went to those
all
games.
the time, right?
Yeah, but I've seen us play Millwall maybe twice, FA Cup here and there. But I hate Spurs.
Yeah,
I hate Spurs. Yeah,
I hate Chelsea.
Yeah, Daniel Levy, that club can just burn.
Yeah, they're awful. They're fans of the gift that keeps on giving, is the way I like to look at them, because they're just so deluded of grandeur that they have.
Oh yeah. Again, biggest team that's won nothing.
Yeah, and actually, I think Pochettino is on a bit of a downward slope with some of their supporters. They haven't really won that many games in their last 10, and there's quite a few disgruntled Spurs supporters out there that might chase him out of the club if he doesn't win too many shortly.
That's so Spursy. Like, you're gonna run the best damn manager you've had out of town like that? Like, sign me up, man. You're gonna run Pochettino out of town, really? Are you kidding me? Like,
they can run him out just in time for Man United to get him when they sack Solskjaer.
Oh yeah, and then they'll just take right off, and then Spurs will sit there and go, whoa.
Aren't the rumors though? Isn't Eriksson gonna be leaving soon? You think?
I think his last contract year is up this summer. So if they don't sell him in January, they were supposed to sell him this summer. If they don't sell him in January, then they'll get nothing for him.
No.
Yeah, but the continental window is still open though, isn't it?
Yes,
So
I think at least for maybe another few days. I don't know how much longer, but there's
end of August, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right, Ben.
Yeah, I can see him going. I mean, Levy. He'll just cash in whenever he can.
Yeah, well, they're not doing too well at that new stadium. It doesn't look like, which neither did we, and neither did Arsenal. So,
right, been there, done that.
This could be the year where that combined with a little bad morale, maybe they will chase Poch out. I don't know.
Blow it up. I mean, I don't know how's it going to get any. Yeah, whatever. Couldn't happen to a better team.
Yeah. Anyway, stop them. Back to West Ham. Scoot, I've got 10 questions for you here since we're wrapping up a bit now. We're coming to the end of our hour. So I will give you some rapid fire here. And
Oh, geez.
It's all easy, mate. Believe me, you'll be all right.
Right.
Meat pie or apple pie?
Apple.
Apple.
True Yank.
Yeah.
I grew up here, yeah.
That's fair enough. Who's your favorite current West Ham player?
Ooh, current favorite. It's probably still Mark Noble still.
Yeah. Mark Noble.
Yeah.
Has he been your favorite for a while?
Always my top, but last couple of years for sure. Just because you know when he's not there, you're like, we're missing Mark Noble.
Yeah, he's a presence as we discussed earlier. That you just if he's not around, it's almost like we don't appreciate him until he's not there.
Yeah, complain about his legs too old, blah blah. But he's in there and he just cleans house.
Yeah. Who frustrates you the most out of the current West Ham squad?
Masuaku.
Who was that?
Masuaku.
That was easy.
Oh, you were quick on that one. Why is that?
Oh, because just you see the brilliance and they cost the ball up. They play defense and then he's always one move from greatness and it just frustrates me.
What would you prefer, FA Cup or a top 6 finish?
FA Cup.
Ben, how about you? I don't know what your answer is on that one.
I'm at this point in my life. Give me an FA Cup because you never forget that top 6 finish. Yeah, that's great, but give me the trophy, man. I want to hoist something.
I know. I just want to see us win something.
Yeah, exactly.
What about a Betway Cup or FA Cup?
Don't count out the Betway Cup. I think we're in the running this year.
We change sponsors.
Oh man.
What about West Ham do you love?
Huh?
Scoot,
he's back.
Scoot, you okay?
Yeah, I know. Someone just called me on my phone. What are you doing calling me this late night? What was the question?
What about West Ham do you love?
What's there not to love? I think it's just that it's still really one of the last tenets of like the working class in England. It's still a local team. Real passion.
And then the opposite of that, what about West Ham do you hate?
We can't win a game. We can't win anything.
Winning's overrated.
Yeah, no, it's not. Actually, I would take a few wins. I mean, beating Tottenham twice, and that's like winning. That's like my FA Cup, right?
Yeah,
absolutely. What sound makes you happy?
What sound makes me happy?
What sound makes you happy? You can keep it clean if you want, but I'll leave it up to you.
Oh, what song? Is it what sound?
Sound.
Lately, who are you?
That'll work. Oh dear. And what's your favorite curse word?
Probably cunt.
No, he's come straight out with it.
Oh,
he's a brave man.
Neil from Down Under, is that you channeling your energy through?
It was my grandfather's favorite one too, so it's kind of just,
It runs in the family.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh dear, that's funny. I think we have an idea of this one, but what team do you love to beat?
Spurs. Yeah.
Spurs.
Yeah. I mean, watching Spurs lose is almost as good as watching West Ham win.
So you tuned in on Sundays at Newcastle game, I suppose.
Yeah, I was like, great. I was ready for a day.
It was nice to watch.
Do you have any Spurs fans near you?
Yeah, I have one friend. Yeah.
So I hope you texted him on Sunday.
Oh yeah, I the memes I sent him, would be you can't just share here because they're really really offensive, but they're great. Yeah.
Name a player, past or present, that epitomizes West Ham.
for many different things. There's, I mean, obviously present. You have to say Mark Noble as Mr. West Ham. In the past, for passion, you got look at the Canyo, and then when you go way back, you got to look at the guys that in the '60s that sort of put us on the map, right? Like Hurst and Moore and right now though, I also say Trevor Brooking too. He's such a good ambassador for us.
Yeah, he really is.
Yeah, he is. He's you see some of the old footage of how he used to play. He epitomizes the West Ham way to me. He flew past players, kept the ball on the deck, and even though his one famous goal was with his head, but that wasn't normal for him.
No, but it was the FA Cup goal, so he's a legend for that.
Yeah. If you could take a time machine back to experience anything to do with West Ham, where would you go?
Oh man, probably to the what was it? The was it 60? The year we won the Cup Winners' Cup. I would love to see that game.
Cup was yeah. That would have been 60s, right? Would have been around about that World Cup win.
Yeah.
Probably 67, 68, something like that.
Yeah, 66, 67, something like
that. That would have been really cool.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I think just to see those guys, Moore and Hurst and Peters in their prime, and just to see them at all from somebody my age. Yeah, I'd have loved to have seen them. I mean,
and winning in Europe, something we have a hard time doing.
Yeah, we've Intertoto Cup is the only real European competition that I've seen us win.
What was that one flop? Was it Pardew? We went to Palermo. We got locked out right off the bat.
Oh, we got beaten up by Palermo.
Yeah,
that was embarrassing.
Yeah. So was Astro Gugu or whoever it was that Astro Gaga. Yeah.
Yeah.
Twice, wasn't it? Was it 2 years in a row?
Yeah.
Gotta keep it together.
Yeah. Awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
It's terrible.
So that's what happens though when we play smaller teams. So on the back of that, let's have our predictions for tomorrow, and then I think we'll call it a night. So Ben, what do you think is going to happen tomorrow?
Newport County. All right. We march in there, screaming about bubbles. Squeak out a 2-1 victory with Roberto in goal. Still win 2-1.
Who's scoring?
Give me the new guy. Give me a Jetty, and then give me. I think Rice gets on the score sheet.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see him kick one off for the year.
Yeah,
maybe if he can add a couple.
Yeah, exactly.
So, head her off in the corner. Yeah.
What do you think, Scoot? How's tomorrow going to go for us?
I think we're going to win 5-2.
5-2.
Yeah.
Ballsy, I like it.
You said that with conviction. So what's going to happen? You got a crystal ball, mate. Go ahead.
No, I just feel what's probably going to happen. We're gonna go like down 2-1, and then we're going to come back in the second half, and we're going to bang in 4.
Rip them off.
Who's leading the line? Who's going to get these goals for us?
I think Antonio plays. I think he's going to get 2 or 3. I think let's see the new guy at least get 1, and I think it would be nice to know what the lineup was. But yeah, it'd be nice if Rice or if Diop gets a header off the corner. That'd be nice too.
Yeah, see Diop finally get off the schneid too. Yeah.
I'm hopeful that after last year, and we've got Tim here in the chat room who's saying it's going to be 4-1. I'll take that. I'm hopeful after last year with the Wimbledon fiasco, Pellegrini just goes, no, we're going to come out and just play. So
pull him away.
Yeah, I'm hoping at least 3. I'm going to give Yarmolenko 2 goals. I think he plays to get up to pace. He's going to cut in from the right-hand side and get 2 on his left foot.
Nice.
And I hope it's a comfortable win, as it should be. But it's West Ham, so who knows?
I don't want to be biting my nails.
Yeah, exactly.
We need to win, though. We need something that's going to gel us more. We're not playing a team yet.
I agree. Totally.
Yeah, no, I think, Tuesday, next weekend, if we can get wins in both of them, that'll really kind of set the course and set the tone for the season. So
for sure.
Actually, your prediction there, Scoot, if we could go behind and come back, may even be a better way to do it, to build
Rally
a bit
the
of
troops.
confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, gents, it's been a pleasure. Ben, good to meet you finally. And
Likewise,
Scoot,
likewise.
lovely to have you on. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks, John. Nice meeting you, Mike.
Take care, fellas. Thanks to everybody in the chat room. And it looks like we've got another show. Let me put this up from Tim on Wednesday with Wayne and Lee, Chris, Trevor, and yeah, keep subscribing, keep sharing, get it all over Twitter, get it all over Facebook. Make sure your friends are getting involved, and
hit the little bell, the subscribe button, so you get a notification when we go live. That's
exactly. Yeah, get that subscribe going. Make sure people are tuning in. We're going to grow this community, and you know, like I said, next year, Pie and Mash Shop in Philly. We'll see you all there. So,
Yeah, for sure.
Sounds good.
All right, fellas, come on, you irons. We'll see you
Come
next
on,
time.
Irons. Cheers.
All right. Cheers.